is Marie, and today I will be demonstrating the use of a semantic map graphic organizer in a 7th grade classroom instruction to be used for vocabulary and comprehension in the content area of life science. The SOLs covered in this activity are SOL LS2A, which states that the student will investigate and understand that all living things are composed of cells, including the key concept of cell structures and organelles, as well as English 7.7b, which states that the student will write in a variety of forms with emphasis on exposition, narration, and persuasion. The student will also use a variety of pre-writing strategies, including graphic organizers, to generate and organize ideas. The materials that you will use in this class are a previously read chapter relating to the topic or material to be covered in class. In this case, we're using life science topic, which is cells and organelles. You'll need a whiteboard, a blank graphic organizer semantic map. You can find these online or you can make your own. You will need blank pieces of paper, or the students will need a notebook. You also need writing utensils, pens, pencils, and you will also need a teacher copy or teacher copies of the examples and vocabulary that you want the students to be learning. I've also put the example up on the board behind us so that it's ready to go. So here's what you'll do for this activity. After going over the unit with the students, you want to discuss with them that you want to further their vocabulary and their comprehension of the topic. The students should have previously read the chapter or material individually or in the classroom. So you want to give each student one of the semantic map graphic organizer handouts so that we can go over it together as a classroom and do an example together. This provides the students with an example of how these should be structured when they end up doing them on their own. After each student has the handout, you'll tell them that we want to define the organelles we have recently studied by filling out the graphic organizer. We will first model the map for endoplasmic reticulum, which is seen right here. What I've done here is I've put the vocabulary word or concept in the center of the map, which is what the students will do, and then you will branch off the different ideas or definitions for that vocabulary word, branching off of the center, and you will model that for the students. After modeling, you will tell the students that they will create their own semantic maps using their own sheet of paper or notebooks to use as reference for themselves later on. They can keep this, and then you can also see how they're comprehending the material. And that's seen here. This is what it should look like on all of their sheets of paper. So while the students are filling these out on their own, either individually or in small groups, you can walk around the classroom and see how they're figuring out what these are, how they're discussing it with a partner, or how they're coming up with it themselves. You can talk to them. After a few minutes, you can come back together as a classroom and ask some comprehension questions. How did you know that this organelle is found in both a plant and animal cell? Or how did you know what its function was? How did you know that it carries proteins from other parts of the cell? Things of that nature. Students that will benefit are students that are really visual learners and who really need to see these things planned out in this kind of structure, and who need this. We would use this in a classroom because it reinforces vocabulary and comprehension for any kind of content material and for any grade level. This can be used for anything: brainstorming, pre-writing, vocabulary, concept semantic maps, graphic organizers. These can be used for literally anything, which is what makes them so great. They can also keep these in a binder or notebook and use them as a reference tool, so they can always go back to it and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for, this is what it means. And that I think is a really great tool for the students. So I think that semantic maps and graphic organizers are really an important tool for students, and I hope you really enjoyed this video. Thank you.